Alright, so today we're going to go over on what open high low close and open low high close is. So with this, there's an hourly, 4 hourly, any time frame really. So right here, we all know that with looking at the bodies, this is open and close. With looking at our wicks, this is where price ended up going back down, creating our low. And for this top wick, this is where price ended up coming up all the way up here and then end up closing at this zone. Highly recommend you guys writing this down. So we have our candle right here. Price opened up right here. We reached down here, creating our low, expanding all the way up, creating our high, and then we ended up closing right here. Open high low close with AMD or PO3. So usually most of the time we would have accumulation with open. We would have our manipulation creating our high, and then our distribution is when majority of order flow would start distributing, in this example, with it being a bearish candle, going down, creating your low, and then closing at this mark right here. So to keep in mind when you're viewing what open high low close, open low high close candles are, we want a spot where we open up at where we manipulated at, and this is in the manipulation zone is where we want to figure out where we can find an entry so then we can get this huge expansion for our trades. We want our trades to have order flow in them, for our take profit box. We want that volatility for our TPs to get hit as long or as short as we can, so we're not in a trade for a day to a couple hours, But if that's the way you trade, then that's the way you trade. This is the way that I use everything and how I get all my trades in. This is our bearish candle, for example. Our bullish candle will be an open, low, high, close. Right here, open, low, high, close. So this is something to keep everything in detail. So bearish candle, our open isn't down here. So bearish candles, we open on top, then we close on the bottom. Bullish candles, we open at the bottom and we close at top. That's how we have these candles form the way that they form. As we create this candle, we don't really have a wick. So it looks like we opened immediately right here. We created our high from the wick, and then we went back down and closed right here. This is when our next candle would then come into play. So with our next candle, we open up above with our bearish candle. What do we see with my example that we started with? We see a bearish candle coming up next. So where we close is where we open for a bearish candle. So basically, we pick up where we left off at, if that makes sense. Transitioning to a bullish to bearish, vice versa, with a bearish candle right here to a bullish candle. And if we have continuation, we're just going to see exactly a staircase get formed. Now we're going to go into the charts and break down on where to spot this at. So we're going to focus on this 4-hour open, low, high, close example. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. So with our bearish candle, we're going to mark out 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So our full 4 hours. So then we're going to go down to 15-minute time frame. Actually, we're just going to go down to our 1 minute and spot this out completely. So as you can tell, when I marked out those two candles, they were bullish candles. So we're going to expect some type of bullish open, low, high, close. So right here at 6 o'clock is where our 4-hour candle starts to open. So with me creating our image, we opened up right here, pick up where we left off at. We create our low. This was our low. And then we distributed all the way up here. Keep on continuing. Way too high. We just keep on continuing. Holy shit, this is sloppy. See, we notice this wick right here. We created our high, and then we went back down and then ended up closing in this zone right here. So, as you can see by zooming out, we have our open, low, high, and then close. So there's our example right here for the 4-hour. I'm going to go ahead and find one more example for, let's try our 1 hour. So with our 1 hour, we're going to pick a random candle. I'm going to do the one previous. So we have a bullish and then a bearish. We want to zoom back out. Sometimes we're also just going to create some type of consolidating candle. So right here, 3 to 4 is our hourly candle. We opened up right here. We create our low, and then price ended up wanting to close in this area right here. So as you can see, we had our open, high, low, close right here. And that open, high, low, close is what makes our bearish candle. And then continuing from 4 p.m. to our 5 p.m. Oh, well, we don't have a 5 because this was Friday, then it moved to Sunday at 6. I guess I could still mark it out though. So we opened right here, pick up where we left off at. So if we're looking for bearish candles or any continuation, we want to see a continuation with this candle as well. So we open, we create our high from these wicks. Price wanted to keep on going all the way down. We create our low from right here, and then we moved upward and closed right here. We're just focusing on where we open, where we focus on where we close. We focus on where we created a high in the open area, and we focus on where we created a low in our closed area. So right here is our continuation. I know it might seem a little bit sloppy, but as long as you can see where we pick up where we left off at, we create our highs, create our lows, and then we close. As you can tell, there's wicks down here as well. So that is our example of seeking out our bearish candles and our bullish candles at high time frames, moving down to a lower time frame and seeking out where we're at, where we open, where we create our manipulation, and expecting some type of distribution or expansion to the upside or downside depending on where we're at with price action. For example, another thing to keep in mind is, let's say we are on a higher time frame, we zoom out, we see, just focusing on these candles right here, we realize that we're having some type of continuation on bullish order flow. So on a 1 hour time frame, we see just a bunch of bullish candles going up. So most likely, sometimes we'd like to expect maybe a continuation, or if not, we can create right here. You see we have a doji candle. So right here is, same thing. I'm just going to mark this out because it's a doji. Just to prove my point that we're not always going to get full formed candles. We're going to have hesitation within the market as well. So starting right here at 1 p.m. and then we're focusing on hourly candles. So 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Close enough. This is our doji candle. We open up right here. We create our high. We come back down, creating our low, and then close right here. So this is really close together, which is why we created a doji. Large wicks, small body. So with me removing everything else, and then as you can see from our now bearish candle, we are picking up where we left off at. So when we see doji candles, we see hesitation within the market, not knowing when to keep on having continuation or some type of bearish order flow. So right here, we can see a shit ton of continuation of bullish order flow, but then we like hesitate a little bit. So for me, this will indicate that either this is just a small low consolidating of hesitation, or we're going to consolidate, manipulate, and then distribute. So this is actually something that's really helpful. So let's say we accumulated right here. Accumulation is the same thing as consolidation. We manipulated down here, and then we're most likely going to see some type of distribution. So if I'm on the hourly time frame, attaching everything together that I've showed you guys so far, we're going to mark our liquidity right here. We're going to expect price to move up here, either tap with their wicks or have full body closure. If we have like a body closure above our wicks, we're going to see some type of continuation of more bullish order flow start going back up. So right here we have our little small AMD, but price didn't close yet. We still have an hour left for this 4 hour, but I'm on the hourly time frame. So this right here is going to give me my exact. We have 2 minutes and 15 seconds till this hourly candle officially closes and we create our open high low close. Feel free to comment down in the section, like this videos, like all my videos, subscribe to me, follow me on all social media platforms, and much appreciation from all you guys with all the support and love. I'm kind of just yapping at this point, but if I'm able to have an opportunity and seek more knowledge, might as well inspire others and lift others up with what I know, because everyone has something everyone wants with life. And so I have information that someone wants or needs. That is all for today. Our open, high, low close, having some small more information on what AMD is. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care, y'all.